In 1994, Talon's, a gay bar, opened in the city of Frederick. It was met with such frequent protests and hatred and vitriol by the Ku Klux Klan that the bar shut down just 2 years later. Today, in 2022, on nearly every block in Frederick, residents will see businesses of all types flying a rainbow flag through the month of June to show support for the LGBTQ+ community. More importantly than the symbolic gesture of support, businesses have become welcoming and inclusive environments for our LGBTQ+ community. Businesses like Dublin Roasters, which is lesbian-owned, and Frederick Coffee Co., which was previously lesbian-owned, have become safe community gathering places for the LGBTQ+ community. The millions of people that make up the global LGBTQ+ community have contributed significant achievements to the world. But far too often, these achievements were produced in the shadows. It is only recently that we can shine a light on them as bright as the rainbow flags our community waves so proudly. I'm Alan Etzler, Communications Manager for the City of Frederick. In the city's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, we encourage our employees to be their authentic selves and view the workplace as a safe place to be who they are. But this is not a government-led effort. Like many initiatives, change to become more diverse, inclusive, and equitable needs to be led by the community. Community organizations such as the Frederick Center lead that charge. Originally founded as a group of students working to support each other, the Frederick Center now operates a 501c3 that provides critical services and resources to youth and adults in the LGBTQ+ community. The organization also launched the annual Pride Parade, which brings thousands to Frederick and many vendors to celebrate the community living their most authentic lives. Government agencies such as Frederick County Public Schools have passed welcoming and affirming policies so our LGBTQ+ youth can feel safe and affirmed in their identities while attending school. In 2019, Preservation Maryland began work to acknowledge significant historical sites in the LGBTQ+ community in Maryland through historypin.org. allowing people to mark the places, experience, and memories of LGBTQ+ individuals and businesses in the U.S. In the city of Frederick, we are committed to empowering our employees to be advocates and ambassadors for the LGBTQ+ community. Upon arriving to the city of Frederick, Chief of Police Jason Lando, a member of the LGBTQ+ community himself, launched the Multicultural Liaison Unit, a team of officers to serve as liaisons to historically underserved communities in an effort to help build more positive relationships and encourage them to become more comfortable utilizing police services. Corporal Sean Geiser serves as the department's liaison to the LGBTQ+ community, where he works with local organizations and community members to build positive relationships with the police and understand the issues that plague their community at higher rates than others, such as the higher rates of targeted bullying and violence that LGBTQ+ people face on a daily basis. On volunteering to be a part of the MCLU, Corporal Geiser said, "Oftentimes, law enforcement and community relationships are negatively impacted by the reluctance of community members and law enforcement officers to exit their comfort zones. Feelings of hate, lack of acceptance, and preconceived judgment have been molded into the many minds throughout history, especially minority populations. Other than protecting victims and removing bad people from society, nothing in this job is more fulfilling to me than forming positive relationships with people that were previously simply afraid of the uniform I wear at work every day. I hope this initiative helps convince people that we come to work every day to support anyone who needs us. I hope this initiative puts officers and citizens in a position where everyone can feel comfortable having open and honest discussions and wearing each other's shoes for a day, an hour, or even a few minutes. To continue recognizing city employees who bring a commitment to LGBTQ+ community advocacy, we are joined by Corporal Sarah Lashir and Officer Haley Lashir, officers in the Frederick Police Department who married in 2020. Haley, Sarah, thank you both for joining us today. First, we'll get started. What does LGBTQ plus Pride Month mean to the two of you?
Pride Month means, for both of us, honestly, is not just for gay people as a whole, but really for everyone. Equality, diversity, that's what we really want to show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why, the rainbow was chosen as, kind of like a symbol for LGBTQ plus communities, because it literally just includes everybody, and it's a celebration of everybody's differences. And it's a beautiful thing, it's a good thing, and it's something to certainly be celebrated.
Absolutely. As law enforcement officers, why do you feel that diversity, equity, and inclusion are important in what you do, but also in society as a whole?
I really believe we can get on people's level. I mean, especially people that are more, like Sarah and I, but really anyone, because like I said before, it's how Pride works and how we see Pride as a whole is diversity. But not only that, but we already do that within our department. So we're used to being diverse with everyone and equal with everyone and trying to understand everybody for who they are. So.
Yeah, I mean, being police officers in the community, we're seen as leaders. And so, we're enforcers of good and protectors from evil. And so doing that, being that is, our principles, our morals have to be of the highest nature. And that includes, equality and treating everybody equally.
You guys get the opportunity to work with the person that you love the most in the job that you do.
It's the best.
And it's in a difficult and challenging job, but also a rewarding one. What has it been like for the two of you?
I love it. I know a lot of people say, I don't want to, it's nice having separation and having your alone time when you're at work from your partner. I love it, especially like in this job field, law enforcement, it's hard. We have critical instances daily, hard times, good times, of course, as well. But when we go through those hard times, it's great going home and we can talk about it and we both understand each other. And that's the greatest thing I believe. And it really helps us and throughout our relationship, even outside of work, at home, so.
Yeah, having the best job, check. Getting to work with your best friend, check. It's a dream.
Awesome. For many people in the LGBTQ plus community, coming out can be a really difficult decision to make. It can be a difficult thing to deal with depending on how people respond.
Yeah. If
you don't mind sharing, what was coming out like for the two of you? And what would you say to anybody who is struggling with making that decision of whether or not to come out?
From my perspective in my life, I fortunately was blessed where I had family and friends that supported me through my coming out. I came out as a teenager, so I was younger, but it helped, again, having my family. They've always been open-minded people, so I never had a problem even coming out. Of course, I was nervous, but just because they loved me so much and loved who I was as a person, I came out, and I always had a confidence aura about me. But what I could say about if maybe your family's not super great with it, finding even just friends or a group like the Frederick Center that we have here, going there and getting the support you need. There's people that want to be your friend, love you for who you are. There's people out there, even us. Come see us. Come see us. That's right.
So for me, coming out was way more tumultuous and challenging, and one of the most difficult portions of my life. I was homeless because of it for about a year, from going to sleeping on people's couches to sleeping on people's hammocks in the backyard. Thank goodness for quality weather those nights. It was a challenging time, but I decided to stay true to myself and to know that the only person that I can be is me, and I was perfect just the way God made me. And so through staying true to myself and with the help of certainly friends, that's how I was able to get here to my childhood dream of being a police officer, and now I get to work with my wife. So it was certainly a challenging time, but it definitely made me the person I am today.
Yeah. Thank you both for sharing that. I know it's a personal story that not everybody's comfortable with, but when we get the opportunity to hear it, it can help a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're here today. So.
Yeah. And how do you think we as a city and as a people can celebrate LGBTQ plus Pride Month this month, but also every month in the future?
I think we as a city already, Frederick does a great job. I mean, we have a little pride, which is awesome.
That's grown into something
huge. Yeah,
awesome and big, which is great.
We walk down, and obviously we work downtown as well, and we see, some of like the shops have their pride flag out, and they're welcoming, and there's a lot of diversity in Frederick. A lot of our friends are LGBTQ, so I think we already do well as a whole. I mean, what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the whole, Pride Month and just being accepting of others, that goes back to the golden rule of treating others like you would want to be treated. So celebrating just humankind as an every day and being human to those and understanding that even though they're different, and you don't have to certainly, maybe you don't agree with that. That's fine. At least just being open-minded and understanding and treating people with kindness. It goes a long way.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here today and for celebrating Pride with us as a city.
Woo! Woo! Ow!
While society has made strides in previous decades towards acceptance of LGBTQ+ people, and we applaud progress, we must also acknowledge the constant attacks perpetrated against LGBTQ+ people and LGBTQ+ rights. There continues to be significant opposition toward equitable treatment of this community. Some governments have chosen to actively target LGBTQ+ youth through discriminatory bills that defy our nation's values of freedom and inclusivity. Locally, sectors of our population have sought to cut access to education and resources for the LGBTQ+ community under the guise of protecting children. These directed attacks on the LGBTQ+ community do not protect children, and they have no place in our community and do not support the values of the City of Frederick. The City of Frederick remains committed to doing everything that it can to celebrate all of our unique differences and working with our community partners to make sure everyone in the City of Frederick is supported. To our LGBTQ+ community, the city's message is simple. We see you, we accept you, we love you.